The Gaslight District's pilot episode just came out and it's actually insane. The animation quality is nothing like I've ever seen from an indie animation project, and the story is also pretty interesting with lots of lore, which means lots of upcoming theories. But at first watch, the episode seemed pretty fast-paced, and I actually had to go back to some of the scenes to process what I saw. So in this video, I'll explain the whole pilot in detail, so if you also had trouble piecing together all the information, hopefully this video is gonna help you. Okay, so the story takes place after the end of the world, like literally. Humanity is gone, but not gone, more like zombified. Everyone's turned into these twisted, immortal beings called rotlings. They are basically stuck in this decaying city called the Gaslight District, which kinda looks like if Bloodborne and Fallout had a baby and then raised it in a fever dream. Immortality sounds cool until you realize you're rotting forever and everyone's out here trying to kill each other for scraps of power. But the big twist is also introduced at the very beginning, and is that there's a prophecy that says if a human is ever born again, they will be powerful enough to wipe out the entire undead population. And yeah, one has been born, and she's our main character. Her name is Melancholy Hill, or just Mel. She's the only actual human in this world, but she's hiding that fact. She was born from an angel egg, which is apparently how humans are made now. I don't know either, don't ask. But she bleeds black, which is kind of a giveaway, and only a few people know her secret. Most importantly, her adoptive father, Ken the Butcher, who's also the head of an undead crime family called the Smiling Dead. So the episode is divided into 4 parts, and the first part starts off mid-action with this super chaotic chase scene. And there isn't enough context at first, just a car flying through this gross, smoky city while everyone's yelling about some guy named Jack. It turns out he used to work with the Smiling Dead, but he found out Mel's secret and is trying to expose her. But of course that can't really happen, since the family whose secret he is trying to reveal is made out of a bunch of gangsters, so he doesn't really stand a chance. They obviously catch him and the punishment is, horrifying. They literally cement him and drop him into the ocean. And because everyone's immortal, he's just stuck down there forever. But this tells us 2 things right away. 1, the Smiling Dead don't mess around. And 2, if word gets out about Mel being human, she's doomed. Everyone is terrified of this prophecy, and if they knew she existed, they would rip her apart. Literally. And while it's understandable that Mel is confused about her identity and she wants to blend in with her family, it also gets revealed that she actually told her secret to a person, and that person told it to another person, and so on. So we can see that there is a sort of ambiguity in her, which we also get to see later on towards the end of the episode. But at the family butcher shop called the Whale Belly, there's a very sensible tension between Mel and Ken, because Mel wants to be more involved in the gang and prove herself, but Ken is terrified that getting too close to the action will expose her true identity, which the other 2 main characters, Breadhead and Mud, are also not aware. But Mel's not exactly like the others, cause she got her original limbs, no rot, and her blood isn't the usual purple that the others have. She looks human, acts human, and that's kind of the problem, which I'm not sure how they didn't notice until now. However, to throw people off her scent, Mel comes up with this absolutely unhinged plan, and it looks like she has spent a lot of time coming up with it and researching everything so that she can be a rightful part of the Smiling Dead. Her plan is to steal an angel egg and pretend it's another human egg. Then she'll destroy it in public to convince everyone that that was the only human, and now it's gone. And at first it sounds like a great plan, because obviously then everyone would stop looking for a real human, and that way she could live in peace. Yeah, but I guess you figure that things are not gonna be that easy for her. The egg is located in heaven, which in this world is like a messed up mix between a gothic cathedral and a mechanical slaughterhouse, and the angels look like vulture people with big black wings, which is kinda unsettling. And despite angels and heaven, it turns out that if someone sneaks into heaven and they get caught, they easily banish the trespassers to hell, or Inferno, which is described by Ken as a place where there is never-ending rain of filthy, icy sludge, which seems horrific by itself. But as Ken said, you cannot really focus on that, because you're also in excruciating pain, just like if someone would pull out an ingrown toenail. This would leave me reconsidering every life choices of mine, but of course Mel is way more badass, so next we can see the Smiling Dead crew sneaking into heaven. And there's a lot of action here. Weird robot guards, creepy rituals, and a final confrontation with this angelic figure called the Angel Mother. She She tells Mel straight up that she should never return to the Gaslight District, that its destruction is already written in stone and she'll be the one to cause it. Meanwhile, Ken makes a detour during the heist and kills someone named Temperance, a virtue which I'm guessing is like Heaven's version of a special agent. She was aware of Mel's real identity, but I have a feeling that Temperance was actually a key figure, and Ken killing her probably wasn't the best move, and maybe later on they will suffer the consequences of her death. Ken seemingly has some pretty crazy anger issues, and it's clear that he would do anything to protect his family, but maybe he pushes too far. But when they return, the Smiling Dead stage a public event. It's time to destroy the human egg, and everyone in the city is there, and Mel is just barely holding it together. Ken plays it up like a preacher at an execution, and here we can also sense how Mel feels like an outsider. When her father talks this way about the human, even if it's all made up, it can mess with her head, and as we can see, it really does. It kinda seems like that she just wants to get it over with, destroy the egg so that it frees her and her dad from this burden of a secret, but she doesn't actually want to change her identity. Mel is also a teenager, so she must feel extra confused about all these things, like what's her purpose and if she really has to live up to this prophecy, but then that would mean that she would lose her family. And these are heavy things, and we can see her debating with herself and everything that she wanted. But before Mel could actually destroy the egg cracks open and a baby crow pops out instead of a human. So the seemingly great plan is now basically and now everyone knows they lied. People freak out, screaming about lies and deception, and the Smiling Dead instantly go from feared legends to total frauds. And worst of all, the one thing that was keeping Mel safe, the illusion that the prophecy had been averted, is gone. If anyone even suspects the truth now, it's game over for her. And so the episode ends on this cliffhanger, which makes the viewer instantly long for more information. But this is not all. Remember Jack, the guy they cemented at the beginning? We see his body at the bottom of the ocean, and a hook drops down, getting ready to pull him back up. But if he returns and he talks, the whole truth might surface. It's a really smart way to end the episode. It raises the stakes, teases the next big problem, and reminds us that nothing in this world stays buried forever. So yeah, that's the Gaslight District pilot. It's visually insane, emotionally tense, and absolutely packed with lore. But I totally get why people were confused. The pacing is brutal. It throws you into the world head first and expects you to just figure it out. There's exposition, but it can feel a bit rushed, and you kind of feel like you're already in season 3 or something. But if you sit with it, rewatch a few parts, and really pay attention, there's a ton to unpack. I don't know where the story is going from here, but it's clear that Mel is living on borrowed time. Whether her family can keep her secret, or whether she becomes the destroyer the prophecy warned about, we'll have to wait and see. But if the rest of the series keeps up this level of intensity, it's going to be a wild ride. But let me know in the comments what you thought of the pilot. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.